Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about one of my new favorite mangas and one that I think is slowly going to get propelled into the mainstream of Shonen Jump. Let's talk about Kagurabachi. Now I think Kagurabachi is a perfect candidate to slowly become one of the new biggest ongoing weekly series like Jujutsu Kaisen was. Now that that one is over, I think Kagurabachi can slide right into that spot. They have some similar traits, but overall I think they're both unique to their own story, but obviously one ended. Although Jujutsu Kaisen will stay very popular, Shonen Jump needs a new person to slide into that weekly slot, and I think it's going to be Kagurabachi. Alright, first starting off some of the characters and a quick summary of the story just to talk about it. We follow Chihiro Rokuhira, the main character of our story, and it kind of starts off with him and his dad, Kunishige Rokuhira, who is a world famous swordsmith who kind of harnesses like almost what would be like an infinity stone in the Marvel universe. This kind of ore that holds that same amount of power, and he harnesses it, and he's the only person that can use it to make enchanted blades. Now that's where the main boost of this story comes in, is the blades kind of boost everything up. They boost up our character's power. That kind of drives the motive for certain storylines is these blades, and overall the power that Kunishige can enhance the blades with is one of the driving factors of the story. Now Chihiro, like I said, is his son, and it starts out we see him when he's about 15 and then with his dad, but then the main driving point for the plot happens where his dad unfortunately gets killed by a group of elite kind of evil sorcerers. And yes, you heard that right, sorcerers. This does have that same supernatural-ish type world vibe to it, kind of like Jujutsu Kaisen. People are sorcerers. They have different abilities, stuff like that, but when you get the swords, you become a powered up user of the sword. And now after Chihiro's dad dies, we cut to him nowadays where he's much darker and much more skilled, and is kind of seeking out for revenge and searching for the enchanted blades. And that kind of kicks off the start of the story. A couple of the other characters, we have Mr. Shiba, who's kind of like Chihiro's older brother, maybe uncle type guy. He's very cool. We have Char, which is the little girl that has her powers as kind of regeneration. So she's a big plot point. Not going to do any spoilers as best I can in this. And then we have Hakuri, who I personally kind of Chihiro's sidekick. I really enjoy him. And then just sprinkled in throughout there, we have some of the other sorcerer characters, the ones he fights, and some of the ones he allies up with in the Kamunabi, which is like an elite good sorcerer clan, kind of opposite of the bad sorcerer clan that killed his father. Now back to what I was saying about the swords. Chihiro's father originally created 6 swords that the world knew of, with a hidden 7th one, which is the one his son Chihiro uses, called Enten, and its power is unleashed with 3 different abilities through 3 different colored goldfish, which sounds a little bit funny, but actually is some of the most badass panel work I've seen, when you see the little bubbles happening and then the goldfish, and you know, judging by the color, you know what's about to happen. Like I said, the name of his blade is Enten. And as of now, there is only about 50-ish chapters in the story so far. So other than Enten, which is Chihiro's blade, we've only seen one other one, which came from Sojo, which is kind of the very first main baddie of the first arc, and he wields one called Cloud Gouger. And yeah, so basically as Chihiro wields this enchanted sword, he meets other sorcerer type people along the way and is trying to discover and collect the rest of the enchanted blades, because the enchanted blade wielders do not actually have their swords, and when you have an enchanted blade, you have to make a contract with it. So the bad clan of sorcerers, or the Hishaku, which I don't know if I've already said the name yet, but that is their name, the Hishaku, they actually have all the blades, but the wielders are hidden because they can't really do anything or unlock the full potential of the blade without the wielder's death. So that is the driving motive for the story. To start off around the first 50 chapters is Chihiro's father dying at the hands of the Hishaku, him having a 7th blade. Over time, the rest of the blades getting taken by the Hishaku, and now Chihiro is on a bloodbath of a quest to try to get them back. I know that might sound a little bit simple, but I'm telling you, once you dive into this and read more, this manga does a very good job at giving little bits of background to each detail. It follows a very simple storyline, something very, very easy to understand, but adds such good character depth to each character and very, very good reasoning behind each decision. It Doesn't feel like Chihiro's making decisions just to make them. Every single time he does something, it is explained, and the same thing goes with the other minor characters or the villains. Now, my favorite character would have to be Chihiro. He's like Japanese John Wick with a sword that is like a sorcerer. He's just awesome. I think he's one of the coolest characters I've seen in a long time. I also really like Hakuri. And another thing is the art style and the drawing. Some of the way this paneling is done is absolutely beautiful, and the way it's darker yet the whites are used in it, I think it's drawn amazing. I think there's a lot of detail, and it creates for a certain vibe that feels like its own thing, and does a very, very good job at portraying battle scenes or character emotion or stuff like that. Now, some of my hopes and expectations for its future: as it gets bigger, I hope the pressure of Shonen Jump doesn't diminish the art or the story. In times past, Shonen Jump, pushes their mangakas to come out with stuff weekly Shonen Jump, and it is, caused for art, like the actual drawings, to diminish a little bit, or the story to diminish because they're just drawing whatever is easiest. But I'm hoping if this slides into that next big mainstream spot, that it can continue up with the same level of art and storylines, because so far it's absolutely amazing. I'm hoping that the simplicity of the base part of the story will continue to allow the mangaka to keep fleshing out the characters and the art just like it is right now. I hope it stays like that. Sooner than later, I hope we get an anime done right with the same dark style and tone. I think that would be perfect, but I am not going to rush anything or be like, we need one now, because I would rather have it be awesome like this manga rather than overdone. But I think once the anime comes out, this is gonna shoot into crazy popularity. And lastly, I overall just hope it continues to pick up steam as a mainstream series and gets the resources to be great, good editors, doesn't get pushed too hard to kind of diminish the story, like I said, stuff like that. I hope it just continues growing. Now, this is one of the first videos I've done that's just strictly about a manga. Normally, anything I do regarding anime or manga, there's an anime and a manga for it. But this is very new. Like I said, there's only low 50s is the chapter number so far. So this is a baby in terms of lifespan of a story or manga right now. This is one of my new favorites. Definitely up there with some of the best artwork that I've seen. It's a very simple story, but characters that are easy to get into, and a story that's easy to understand with amazing art. And as for that, guys, that's just my thoughts so far on what we've gotten from Kagurabachi and why it's one of my new favorite current mangas out right now. Definitely recommend going and checking it out. Remember to like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next video.